Welcome to Mike's Garage, and thanks for stopping by. Last time you stopped by, we adjusted the points, we adjusted the timing. So as our little procedures with doing the tune-up on this bike continues, today we're going to adjust the valves. Now, to adjust the valves, first we have to open the pushrod tubes, which means removing these clips. There's the front exhaust, and there is the front intake. I refer to these as the front valves because they operate the front cylinder. Now, I'm going to lift the pushrod tubes, and as you can see, they fall down again. So, I made this tool a long time ago when the earth was still cooling down. And what this is just a spring with a long tail and a piece of hose over it. And this is a piece of coat hanger wire. I don't know if they still make wire coat hangers, but anyway, what it does is it holds these two tubes up out of the way. Most guys just use a couple of clothespins on the push rods. I just like this tool because I've had it a long time and I made it. Alright, now we can see the valve lifters, the adjusters on the valve lifters. This is of course the front exhaust. This is the front intake. This is the valve that opens and lets the exhaust out the exhaust pipe. This is the intake valve that opens and lets the fuel and air mixture come in from the intake manifold. So what we're going to do first is adjust the front exhaust valve. So what we want to do is turn the motor over until that lifter bottoms. It just came up and now it's dropping down. It's gotten down all the way. The intake valve is starting to open. So with this lifter bottomed out, see how easily the push rod spins. So now we're going to back off on the adjusting nut right here, and we're going to turn, actually we backed off on the lock nut, excuse me. Now we're going to turn the adjuster up, which means it's actually backing out. It's going counterclockwise. There it is. Now what this push rod is doing is it's spinning in the lifter. We'd like it a little tighter than that, but we still want to be able to move it by hand. Otherwise it's too tight. So now, by holding on to the adjuster with one wrench, we tighten the lock nut with the other wrench. Now these are special valve adjusting wrenches, differing from standard end wrenches by being much thinner. Very expensive little wrenches, but well worth the money. That lock nut is tightened down. I can still turn the push rod with my fingers, and now I'm going on to the intake valve. And it's down. You see the exhaust valve will start going up, so we know the intake valve is closed. Again, on to the lock nut, backing it off, and holding the lock nut with one wrench, I can turn the adjuster with the other. Checking the push rod to see that it's not too tight. Again, it's a feel thing like so many things on these old bikes. Constantly checking. When I get all done, we'll run through them again and make sure they're not too tight or too loose. double checking your work will actually save a lot of time at the other end. Checking it again. Feels really nice. Tighten that lock nut down good and secure. You don't want to break it or strip it, but you want it secure. Getting the wrench onto it very good and solid. Tighten that lock nut. Whoops. There it is. There it is. I couldn't get the wrench in there. Well, I'm going to have to go at it from this direction. Checking that push rod, making sure I can still turn it. There's that lock nut. Now let me get on to the adjuster. Tighten the lock nut real good and secure. And go back, check that push rod again. Now, both of them are done as far as I'm concerned, but I have to be sure. So I'll rotate it again. That intake valve feels real good. I'm dropping the exhaust valve down, and it feels real good. Go through them again, check them again. When you're satisfied they're adjusted properly, which means you can turn the push rod, you don't want it too loose, but you don't want it too tight. You have to be able to turn it with your fingers to make sure that you've completely removed the load from the valve train so that that valve up in the head goes completely closed. After you've finished with the front push rods, the procedure is the same for the rear push rods. So get the job done, and next time we talk, maybe we'll put spark plugs in this thing and adjust the carburetor, light it off, and see how it runs. Until then, thanks for stopping by.